Welcome to TF3 Airport. Is what? 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 They say what we famous for. That's why I'm taking y'all on this verbal tour. First stop, Providence Place Mall, 3 floors of stores to shop for you and yours. Don't have a ride, you can take the Ripper. Anywhere you need to go, the bus will get you. Cranston, Warwick, even Newport, Kennedy Plaza, where you can find the ice court. Y'all know Brown University, famous. J-Dub, PC, you alright? Famous. Students from everywhere come here to go there. The capital's Providence. Dante is in your ear. Home of the Blue Bug, Iggy's and Thayer Street. Full of stores to shop or places you can eat. Near there is downtown P-Pack. Enjoy a show. The Dunk Water Fires. Other things you need to know. Can't forget Fat Hill for real.
Here we go again. You know we always start off with something funny, but listen, welcome to the other side of things again. This time I'm riding solo by myself. Nah, he's somewhere behind the camera somewhere. He's still in distance, but it's not even about me today. It's about my guest. Love for you to introduce yourself. Let the whole world know who you are, or reintroduce yourself to those that don't know who you are, because a lot of people do know who you are.
Well, I'm Ricardo Pitcy. I'm the co-founder of Mixed Magic Theater with my wife Bernadette.
Yes.
And I'm an actor and a director and a producer and a playwright and a composer. I do a lot of things in the world of live theater. I'm also a movie actor when I get the opportunity to be one. So I've had a very comprehensive career for the last 50 years.
Comprehensive, you hear that, people? So what we're going to do today is we're going to let this man inform you on how you can become who he is, or even be it greater. So without further ado, that's what we have. You didn't know. We at the Mixed Magic Theater. You want to tell the location?
We're at 560 Mineral Spring Avenue in Pawtucket.
So if you ever want to drop by and say hello, or even be interested in putting on a show or something, that's what we are. So here's the first question, and these questions were given to me by my partner, the man behind the camera instead of the man in the mirror. Could you tell us a little bit about yourself and your organization?
Well, Mixed Magic Theater was formed about 24 years ago with the idea that we were going to put diversity at the beginning of our work process. Our first creed was first think diverse, and our mission was to present a diversity of ideas and images on stage and to build a more literate and arts active community by telling people the stories of people who are actually sitting in the seats. So we've done a wide variety of work, from August Wilson to William Shakespeare. From original works, we do a lot of poetry, we do a lot of musical. We have an outstanding gospel choir called the Exalt Choir, which is gaining in popularity and prominence. And we're also in the midst of a leadership shift from my wife and myself to our son, Jonathan, who is a brilliant artist in his own right.
I have a question that he didn't have on this, and this is the flow of a conversation. Do you believe that your wife having a wife helped you further along in your career and your vision?
Well, I couldn't have done anything without her support. And not only is she a brilliant artist in her own right, she's a terrific wife and mother, and has a strong business sense, and has a devotion to the work that keeps everybody involved and everybody on point. She's our executive director and business manager, and when other organizations were failing or faltering, she was able to keep Mixed Magic Theater afloat almost by herself. So the whole, not am I the only one indebted to her for her support, but the whole Rhode Island community is indebted to her for her wisdom, her energy, and her tenacity.
I always say behind a strong man is a stronger woman. And I wanted to say that because I'm one of the people that believe in marriages, and I believe that when you have that helpmate, you have that completion, that it helps you further along. That's why I keep telling my partner that you fulfilled an aspect that should bring forth blessings, because when you have that person in your life, when you go to make the decision, they can sit up there and say, nah, I wouldn't do that if I was you. I don't think that's the right decision, but I'm still standing behind what you're doing.
Very often I've had my playback when I wasn't even sure I could win the game. But I always think I can win the game.
That's men. That's what we think.
No, not just as a man, because I know plenty of women who think they can win the game too. And, but confidence is being prepared. And also that other people have not been as successful in doing something doesn't mean it can't be done. Sometimes you have to approach the work that you do by putting faith forward first, that there's a need and I can do it. You fail as much as you succeed, but you also learn from failure too.
Correct.
You can't be afraid of failure. In fact, most theater artists are more afraid of success than they are failure, because they see people become successful and crash and burn. But given the choice between the two, success or failure, I'll take success any day of the week. But I've never had a failure that I didn't learn something from.
Correct.
And sometimes, a failure solves half the problem. It's like, make a choice. Even a wrong choice solves half the problem. You know that's wrong. So so you don't want to revisit that. Einstein says the definition of insanity is repeating the same mistakes over and over again, expecting a different result. Well, if something doesn't work, abandon that. Or look at why it didn't work.
Wisdom, people. This is wisdom. Listen to this. This is wisdom.
I hope so, anyway.
Nah, it is so. Well, speaking of wisdom, a lot of people probably out there is not familiar with nonprofit work. Mm-hmm. Could you explain to us how that works?
Well, nonprofit essentially says the founders or the members of the company can't collect shares from the profits from the organization. That's really what it means. A nonprofit can run a for-profit business as long as you don't pay shareholders and partners a dividend. It's for charitable purposes. So when we accept donations and grants, we're saying that the funds are going directly toward the programs or the survival of the institution, not into my pocket or any our board of directors' pockets.
Right. Correct. Listen to this. See, when people donate or somehow you give in money, you should use it for the purpose that they have given the money for. Like when I donate to churches, I don't even write my name on it. When I give it to them, I say, whatever you do with it, I gave it to you for you.
Yes, and a lot of times, sometimes people do want to know, and you have to be prepared to answer the question, what did you do with the money? Well, you can walk into our theater. You can come see a play. You can go to our amphitheater. You can come hear our choir. We are our own evidence.
Right. Wisdom, I'm telling you. So, you have a history with Trinity Theater and Rhode Island native Richard Jenkins. Can you share that history with us?
Well, I met Richard Jenkins, who's a two-time Academy Award nominee, one of the finest actors and finest gentlemen I've ever known. But we started together at Trinity. He was there a couple of years before I was. But it was a process of watching a brilliant actor become a brilliant stage actor, become a brilliant movie actor. He's a decent man. Him and his wife Sharon are just decent people, and I think he is proof positive. They are proof positive that you can have a career in this business and still be a decent person.
That's very important. So basically you're saying no matter how high he went, because we're going to ask what kind of movies he's been in so that people will know who this person is just in case they don't know who he is.
Well, he was nominated for his Academy Awards for The Visitor, fine movie, excellent movie, and for The Shape of Water, which was also an excellent movie. But he was in Me, Myself, and Irene with the Farley Brothers. He's done several movies with the Farley Brothers. His resume is so extensive. He just recently did the Jeffrey Dahmer movie. He played Jeffrey Dahmer's father. The Step Brothers, he plays the father in the Step Brothers. I mean, his scope of work is massive and to be celebrated.
See, but basically what he was saying is no matter how successful this man came, he never forgot who he was and maintained his integrity.
He's a good friend, and I value his friendship as much as I value his talent.
Beautiful. That was beautiful, beautiful. What do you feel Mixed Magic there that brings to the community locally and statewide?
We put people from the community on the stage. We give opportunities to people who might think that the opportunity is passing by sometimes. We give young people an opportunity to say, you know, we say to the community all the time, there's 5 things you need to be a theater artist. Talent is 5th on the list. The first one is courage. Do you have the courage to walk through the door and say, I will try? Can you focus on the work that is at hand? Can you discipline yourself to do the work? Can you be on time? Can you learn your lines? Can you come prepared to work? And 4th is commitment. Can you commit to doing the work? If you have courage, discipline, focus, and commitment, talent is a bonus. Because you give me any of those 4 things, I'll get a performance out of you. But also,
love that.
We also offer our people an opportunity to learn. 90% of the people in the theater and art and film business are not actors. 90%. There are jobs and careers. Most film and stage careers are made off the stage. So we say not only can you learn performance skills, you can also learn lighting and sound and set building and design and graphic design and costume design. There's a whole front of house management, management skills, executive skills that are essential to the survival of the arts anyway. There are more administrative jobs in arts than there are acting jobs. So we say to the community, we want to hear your voice. We want to put your voice on stage. We want to tell your story or stories that are important to you. But also we're trying to engage you in an art form that makes, if you can learn things in the theater, everything else you do in your life will be easier.
Did you hear that compassion that this man had when he talked about the community? That's how you know when somebody's really for the community, because you'll hear it. You'll hear it before they even have to say anything. The compassion, the voice, you just hear behind it. So, was this a dream, a goal of yours? If it wasn't, how far are you from completing that goal?
Well, initially when I was a much younger person, before I got to high school, I wanted to be a lawyer. And so my oldest son is a lawyer, so lawyer came into our family, but it just skipped a generation. I walked on the stage when I was 15 years old, 16 years old, in Romeo and Juliet. And I said the opening lines of my monologue. I played the prince. And when I walked off the stage, I said, this is it. This is what I'm going to do with the rest of my life. And so I was addicted early in the process.
What was it about that made you, like, because you explained what it takes to get there, but when you're actually there, what was it that made you be like, you know what, I want to do this?
That I could command the air, that I could command the lightning, that I could command the thunder, that I could be seen and not be afraid, that I could be heard. I like that a lot. And I spent my career understanding and appreciating that power that comes, but it's a benevolent power. It's not a dictatorial power, it's a benevolent power. Because your power empowers. Great art empowers the viewer or listener. And from music, I'm a songwriter. I've written 7 musicals. I know what happens, the power when people hear or feel things. You know, it's like the bass. You know, an actor is like the bass. You don't hear the bass, you feel the bass. That's right, and it goes right into the heart and deep into the soul. And as an actor, I feel like I'm the bass.
I got shake your hand for that one. That was that's poetry, people, poetry. Well, what are the future aspirations for Mixed Magic Theater?
Well, the shape of the theater nationally and internationally has changed. It was already in the midst of change, but COVID just sped it up. We have to redefine ourselves as an art form. I'm a firm believer that people, a friend of mine once said, the purpose of the theater is to tell people things they already know. Well, I believe that, but I also believe that the part of the purpose of art is to give people the opportunity to witness the spectacular. Not the spectacle necessarily, but the spectacular. The great human possibility. There's no difference between a great performance on stage or in the movies and a great athletic performance, because both of them are an effort to prove that perfection is achievable. And as an actor, I have had perfect moments. The thing with perfection is it's a fleeting thing. It happens and then it's gone. And you can't necessarily ever recreate all the ingredients that made it a perfect moment, but you start looking for the next perfect moment. And as long as you're working for, you know, art is, theater in particular and film in particular, there's a lot of exposition connected by moments of sheer brilliance. And you live for those sheer brilliance. Great songs. Not every lyric, not every note in a song is great. But every once in a while, something happens. Gladys Knight says, I got to go, because she earned her way there. And it's a perfect moment, and the Pips are dead on it. And when they come together, the Midnight Train to Georgia not only comes alive, it gets different song, but it's the same thing. It's the same idea.
I can do that, Midnight Train to Georgia.
So our goal at Mixed Magic Theater is to help redefine the world of the theater moving into the future, not just locally, but nationally, and even internationally. We've got to reinvent ourselves in some ways, and we feel like we're on the cutting edge of that reinvention.
Beautiful, beautiful. Well, so now that we are coming to a close and that they got an idea, what is something that we didn't cover that you would like for them to know?
Depending on when this airs, on the 27th of February, the Exalt Choir is doing a performance called Exaltation at the Providence Performing Arts Center.
Say that one more time. So we want to select the...
It's a very important event for the community.
The whole thing. What is it again?
It's called Exaltation, featuring the Mixed Magic Theater Exalt Choir. And it's an important event. It's a concert event. We're going to do a wide variety of music, ranging from gospel to rock and roll to pop to jazz. We do music to lift the spirit. That's why it's called Exaltation. It's about lifting the spirit. It's not about trying to sell an idea. It's about trying to save the soul.
So you heard this man, if you want your soul to be saved, and he ain't talking about coming to Christ, he's talking about you want your soul to be saved with the music.
You can bring your Christ with you.
You can bring your Christ.
Because there's a place for him.
Yeah.
You can bring whatever God you worship, whatever you worship, whatever you hold near and dear. If it's your mom or your dad or your kids, bring them. Everybody will be rewarded.
Nice, nice. So there you have it. Man gave you the history, told you a little bit about himself, the people that he know, and you can also see he's humble and he loves what he does, and that's what it's about. Again, when we say it's supporting people that should be supported, because again, he wants the community we build, same as us. That's why we going to people in the community that want to see the community built up, because in order for us to get where we're trying to go with the unification, we have to start with the community.
Absolutely. Absolutely. There's nothing more I can add to that.
Go ahead. This is you.
No, there's nothing more I can add to it. You articulated it very well.
So with a summary, see, what you learned today, boys and girls, men and women, you learned that having a strong partner next to you or the side of you can help you further along.
Leading the way.
Correct. We learned that. We learned earlier when we was talking about helping that we need help to accomplish the goals that we want to accomplish. Because how much help did you have to get where you are?
Well, I had a lot of help, but people need more help than I had when I started. You can't pass. You can't pass the baton into the future if you're running old races. You got to be running new races. And you can't pass on the same problems that you dealt with in your leg of the race to the person who's receiving the baton. You got to give them energy, ideas, insight, and resources.
Energy, insight, resources. Still need help.
Still need help.
Still need help, and that's the whole point. That's what we were saying earlier before we came and interviewed you, because all these segments is coming. This is the ending of the segments that we started. Was we were saying that somebody might have one piece, another person might have one piece that you don't have, and you come together to do what? Form that puzzle.
You do, but that's another program, because I could wax eloquently about knowing what you need and what you don't have, and not feeling that you have to fill up the bowl by yourself. Because whenever you fill up the bowl by yourself, you're still at the end of the meal. You're just by yourself.
At the end of the meal, you're still by yourself. Because there's a lot of people that always talk about getting to the top, but you know what? They never talk about, because they always say it's lonely to be at the top.
It is lonely at the top, because very often you had to climb over a lot of people to get there. But if you climb with people, you get to the top together, and it's still lonely, but it's lonely in a crowd.
Did y'all catch that? Well, thank you for your time.
All right.
You sure there ain't nothing else you want to talk about before we go?
No.
This is your moment.
I'll come back for another program. We'll talk more.
Okay, so yeah, this is the other side of things. Right now, I'm your host, Dante Martin. Yakeem is around. He's behind the scenes right now. He heard everything. He's smiling. He's loving what we're doing and everything. And I hope you're smiling and loving everything that we're doing. Again, it's all about community building. That's what it's about. It starts with the community, starts with the family as well. And until we all play our part, guess what? Nothing's going to be done. Right or wrong?
Right or right. Right or right.
All right, all right, all right.
All right.
Almost there. About to come home. Just one more year left.
It's a major step ahead for us, and hopefully it will set the table for future events.
Say that again and tell them where you can find that at, what time and everything, because this will. No, he's saying that he's saying that they do.
Tickets are available now.
That one. That's what it says. See, he could say where it's gonna be, just can't say ticket price and everything.
I wasn't gonna say ticket price. I was gonna say you can call the box office at PPAC, and they can help you out with tickets. That's the only
He's a
outlet.
professional. See, he knows. Cut it out.
Of course I know. And it's a very important event for our community. It's a very important event for Mixed Magic Theater.
Prove or be denied, I think not. Every day working on GPA. Just missed the chance to make the NBA. Handle my business and get an MBA. Whatever make the day will be okay. Make pay, still have bills and now student loans. Car payments due and mortgage on.